there's appointments. You can't satisfy everyone,
Yeah, yeah.
So
They
whether
will
he's
never be happy.
yeah, DA will never be happy. They were not happy with Derator at the beginning. And then at the end, we're like, he was, basically there were people that were busy interfering in his, way of running ESCOM. So you can never be, people will never be happy and you cannot please anyone.
Bengekho happy with the new public protector as well.
Exactly. And that has kind of died down. So
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
It's all about performance at the end of the day,
Yeah, yeah.
because if we get someone that's neutral and we can see that they are handling the cases, or for this case, ESCOM, this guy is, running ESCOM the way that he sees best in terms of strategy and so forth. And maybe we happen to see change as time goes. I mean, you must judge a person on merit, not because of your perception, So we'll see how that goes at the end of the day. And then there's over 400 miners who had been staging and are still staging an underground sit-in at Gold One mine in Springs. And apparently they are running out of food. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as of this morning or last night.
So they're still staging the sit-in.
Yes. So now the protest, the reason for the protest, it's against the dismissal of over 50 workers and recognition of Union AMCO.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in other news, yes, I think this happened either on Tuesday or Wednesday. So the ANC Treasurer General Gwen Ramokgopa says the ANC is not broke. She says they have been very diligent in dealing with their debt and getting their books in order. And she says the party, well, basically, the reason for that, response or that statement is because the party is embroiled in a court case with Ezulweni Investments, which says the ANC owes them more than 140 million rands.
Is it 140 now, not 102?
Up to 140 million.
Wow.
Interest, I'm assuming, because Nama was quite taken aback by that amount because I thought it was less.
Yeah.
But it's in the millions nonetheless. It doesn't change. Yeah. So, yes. And then I didn't get, I'm not sure if you did come across the story, Bodhi, where Chief Justice Raymond Zondo called for full independence from the executive. There was a 2023 judges conference which took place during the course of the week, where the judiciary has examined issues such as maintaining its independence and shielding judges from harm. So I'm not okay. I didn't read the full article. I just came across the headline. So my understanding, it's basically they're saying that there will always be political interference in every sphere of government. So I think that is based on that, and obviously other so-called powerful individuals that have a way of worming their way into certain individuals in the judiciary. And there's a statement that he made about Uzuma. There was some sort of comparison between Uzuma and the current president, Ramaphosa. I kind of missed the statement, but I'll look for it sometime during the course of the show. So...
No, I think for me, like I said, I was out this week. So
would be the last one to move. But
no, I was really I was offside.
Okay. And then another story which is shocking. During the course of the week, the police minister was in parliament, and he announced that over 3,900 police officers are implicated in criminal activities and are still employed by the SAPS. And some of those criminal charges and activities include murder, rape, attempted murder, kidnapping, and perjury.
So when are they planning to remove these guys?
Exactly, because once you get implicated, you're supposed to be suspended up until investigation has been concluded.
We shouldn't be hearing.
In fact,
about you
they should be
part.
dismissed.
Yeah,
because it can't be someone who's supposed to who is a law enforcement official, and then you also get involved in criminal activities.
Wow. So, any news on when are they planning to take these guys out?
No, not that I know of, or I haven't. I didn't go as far as
Mm.
But I think I was just taken aback that the audacity that quite a large number of those individuals are still within the
Still,
system.
and no announcement of major plans to actually take them out of the system.
The one comment that I saw, I'm not sure if it was from the DA or one of those civil society organizations. They were saying that the minister needs to act on this as soon as possible because we cannot have people that, because if you have one rotten potato, the whole bag gets spoiled, basically, type of comment.
Wow.
Yeah. And then moving right along, another shocker. So, according to National Treasury, tertiary education funding will be cut by about 13.7 billion. This may result in thousands of students being left unfunded by NSFAS. So, the scheme is believed to have consulted with Treasury on the matter. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think there's a lot of condemnation with the scheme, as particularly with what just happened with the payments of students.
Yes.
So, which I think the that lack of proper system. I don't know why they taking the bank system out of the equation, or the
I
institutions. They
know.
may have to go back to that
I
because I
think
mean
so.
the clearly this recent tender is contaminated,
Mm,
and the
mm,
CEO was removed as a result of that. So
mm,
that whole
mm.
thing with that particular tender then should actually, in my view, be part of the same poison tree, and actually should be,
Yeah.
removed.
Mm.
So let's hope that in next year they can actually clean up the system first
Yes.
before actually
Yes.
cutting
No,
some
for
of the
sure.
students. Yes, of course, some of the students have benefited unfairly because you have students that have been using their own,
Mm.
or families that have been using people that are not working in order for them to
Yes.
benefit,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
unfair. But at the
Mm.
same time, there are people who are also within the missing middle who
Mm.
actually may have done that
Yes.
because they really can't afford in terms of what
Mm.
this they have.
Mm. Mm.
So the system, I think the scheme needs to be relooked in terms of how that money is being dispersed.
Yes, exactly.
The idea of running away for me from actually giving the money to the institutions,
Mm. Mm.
or using the bank systems at the benefit of other tenderpreneurs who are actually going to also add their own, because that's also
Yes.
what we've heard. Some of the
Yes.
students, the monies that they were given, they didn't get all of those monies.
Yes.
Some
I've
of
got
them
a
actually
niece
transferred them
also.
immediately as soon as
Mm.
it gets into
Mm.
that system. They transfer it to their bank accounts.
I don't know. Yeah, they need to revisit. No,
Yeah.
definitely, they need to revisit this. Yeah, in fact, the system, the way that they're doing this thing, it needs to be revisited. Because I know my niece is also is funded by NSFAS,
Mm.
and she had been complaining for a while. So she was one of the mostly affected students as well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then there was an incident in Diepsloot that took place during the course of the week where there were 7 young men that were found with their bodies were basically burned beyond recognition.
Come on.
Yes. So the 5 suspects have been arrested. And apparently, how the bodies, how those unfortunate youngsters, were caught, and apparently they were what's the word? They've been implicated in a spate of robberies and so basically,
So
yeah,
could possibly that was vigilantism.
vigilante, yes,
Oh,
yeah,
shame.
taking law into your own
Mm.
hands, basically, and some of them were as young as 17. So yeah, very bad, very bad.
Look, I
Mm,
think I mean, I had Tabumbeg, and we discussed
mm,
this with some friends of mine over the
mm,
weekend, that
mm,
there is areas, and we apparently
mm,
Tanzania also was made as an example of
yes.
where some of the people there, they're saying crime is not as what it used to be, because there are
Forums.
strong forums
Mm,
there, and
mm,
people are not allowed to be loitering in the streets at a particular time. If they don't know you, they actually
Sort
beat
you
you up,
out.
and so whilst that is not what should be happening in our society, but
Yes.
it's become necessary because the police are failing,
Yes.
and some of the things that Thabo Mbeki has been saying is that once you have communities beginning to take law into their own hands and managing
Yes.
their own systems,
Mm.
you have private schools that are running efficiently. So all
Yes.
of these things that the
Mm.
government is supposed to be running,
Mm.
um, people can actually feel that they can do it themselves. Then
Mm.
you gradually, the less dependent on the government the people are,
Mm.
and the less then the government can actually go out there and campaign on the back of
Mm.
giving services to the people, and that
Mm.
becomes problematic for the state.
Yes.
So that's the kind of environment I think
Mm.
we are running into fast into, where
Yes.
people are going to try and become more efficient on their
Mm.
own, and
Mm.
having these smaller nyana corners. I mean, look at
Mm.
for an example, Kunubi.
Mm.
Kunubi, they are cleaning their own beachfront.
Yes.
They have the some of these
Mm.
companies, they've sponsored maybe chairs there in
Oh
the
yes,
beachfront
yes.
and
I
all
see
of
those
that.
chairs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they've
yeah.
written
Yes,
their
yes,
company names and all of that.
yes,
So
yes.
there's a
Mm.
strong sort of movement that's happening there in Kunubi.
Yeah.
Now
Mm.
imagine if most of the
Suburbs.
yeah,
Mm.
begin to do that,
Mm.
and they begin to say, okay, for grass cutting there, let's put money together
Yes.
every month, 50 rand each community, and say,
Mm.
grass cutting, we're gonna do it, we're gonna call our guys to come and do
Mm.
this without having to
Yes.
wait for the government. It's
Yes.
really going to become
No,
a
that's what's
problem.
going to happen. No, definitely. There was someone that wanted to basically revamp the Bonza Bay Beach.
Mm.
And obviously, you have to go through the municipality for certain things. Do you know that person never got assistance?
Yeah, they're not going to assist you because Galoku, what you are doing
Mm.
effectively is that you are rendering them ineffective,
Mm.
and by so
Mm.
doing as well,
Mm.
if you do it in with your own sort of cost and the maintenance, if
Yes.
the people in Beacon Bay are saying, look, government, we want to take care of our own beachfront,
Yes.
and they put money together,
Yes.
like what the other guys in Durban, there was I think, was it Westville, or there is some community in Durban that has refused to pay
The rates.
rates to
Mm.
this municipality,
Mm.
and I think those rates now have actually run into millions now.
Yes.
So they have an account where they put those monies into. Now
Mm.
imagine if that community begins to say, okay, who's got garbage trucks, we're
Yes.
gonna pay you guys to pick up garbage
Yes.
and go and drop it off
Mm.
wherever the garbage.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then if we
Mm.
have sewage problems,
Mm.
and if possibly maybe to even an extent of saying, look,
Yes.
we have water problems here, so
Mm.
we're putting money together and we have enough boreholes to actually,
Exactly.
so
Basically, go off the
it's
grid
yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
Yes.
and going off the
Mm.
grid is, whilst it's good for those guys who actually have, who can afford to do that,
Mm.
it's actually bad for the people who can't afford to do it,
Yeah.
because there's less money going into the municipalities to
Yes.
be able to manage that part
Mm.
of the water and
Mm.
maintenance and all of that jazz. But
Mm.
now,
Mm.
conversely, it's becoming effective for those people, unless then
Yes.
they begin, if they begin to create a fee structure that is able to
Mm.
benefit everyone,
Yes.
yeah, then
Yes.
the government or municipalities are going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Yeah, most def.
And then, so this week, it was 10 years since the death, or since we lost, or the first democratic president, Utato Nelson
Oh
Rolihlahla
yes, there
Mandela.
was a lot of hullabaloo
Yes.
about that, and many.
Especially the House.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the lecture. I didn't listen to the
No, I
lecture, but
didn't. I
I
also
did see.
didn't.
Yeah,
I also didn't.
and I also quite seen a lot of other. It's quite of nice. I mean, international artists,
Mm.
commenting about this on
Yes.
their own
Mm.
Instagram pages and
Mm.
all of that.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah, that's what's been happening this week. When was
Yes.
it? Was it the 5th of?
5th, the
5th
5th,
of
yeah.
June of December.
December, yes, 5th of December.
So the 5th of December 2013.
2013, yeah, that's when he died. And then the funeral, I think it was like a week or two after that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the 5th of December would actually fits for me in 2017. I think it was the 5th of December in 2017 when my
Okay.
mother passed.
Oh, wow.
And we then, I think the funeral was on the 16th, if I'm not mistaken, of December. So yeah, 5th of December has that kind of double impact for
Of
me.
course. No, it will.
In
It
terms
will.
of,
With a
yeah,
mother, it hits differently.
yeah.
It does. It does.
But also, I mean, I think the mothers in general, they have a certain way of keeping families strong, united. And when mothers leave, that's why sometimes when fathers leave and then there's a mother still, the environment is quite still almost the same.
Yes.
But xa kumke umuntu ongumama,
There's a
kushiyeka,
void.
yeah,
There's a certain void that can never be filled.
kushiyeka time, we know some experiences of other families where time iphinde yabe yokhangela.
Then it's just disaster.
Yeah, so
It's just disaster
yeah,
because some people never have good experiences with the
yeah,
yeah.
xa kushiyeke utata. And
Yes,
also,
especially if someone doesn't have good intentions, but they just want to get their foot onto the door.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine, you know, there was a situation time yabona sekho umuntu apha endlini umane uzolala apha azoklina azothini. So itime yaphela ngoku lo muntu lona uphela ngokuyeka nje zoklina azothini, phela ngoyingena ebedroomini. Main bedroom.
Self-appointed.
Kaloku isaqhuba. So but yeah, I mean, of course, when he passed on, then that's when the reality hits. Yeah, khasikhwelele please, siyaboleka into zayo. You know.
No, but those like okay, now I'll tell you, like one of my aunts passed away, ne?
Yeah.
So now, like the daughter, my cousin's telling me about yo hey, the one neighbor, like I think bohlukaniswe yindlu eyi-one ukubana hayi ke bani uzukhe kufana nomama kho ube ngunongqwaza umyeke utatakho xa ibone umntu onwabe. And she's like, kaloku, you cannot be telling us that. We still have things that we need to sort out. We not even think about those things. When now, so is it because uzipositionile?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was laughing because there are people who strategically position themselves.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want. It just kind of hits.
It's what I mean. People seize opportunities.
No, they do.
Yeah, seize the moment.
But,
you know?
but it's
I mean, seize the moment. Yeah.
No, but if we like the thing is, those people, most of the time, do they have good intentions? If ubaze kuwe Putin, like okay, hypothetically speaking,
yeah,
like lamdu uze okanye uze kuwe nabantwana.
It's kind of a tough thing, depending on the age of the kids.
Like let's say they're still in like high school or in school.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they're still young. They're not adults yet.
Yeah,
I understand.
I think Naboman, the guys, for me, it's clear if it were to happen. I would still be with Abandonabam for a very long time, particularly Maya. I mean, Maya is the youngest, and she has a touchy-feely type of emotions.
Yes. So it definitely touched on his dolos.
I would still be with her for quite some time before and also I think the other thing that's important, maybe it's also guys need to learn to do this. Perhaps maybe
if you can afford to.
Phuma apha because indlu yabantwana kaloku.
No, for sure.
So the thing of bringing
but also obviously when you can't afford no choice at that point in time.
Please, even if you can afford then chinties.
Oh my oath. Okay, yeah. All right, so, that was the rap.
Yeah, guys, that was sort of current affairs,
Yes.
and we're going to go into later on, speak to an organization that is a foundation that's busy with Christmas. What?
Yeah, Christmas grocery
Yeah,
giveaways or
yeah.
handing out of
So we will
Christmas
be talking to
groceries.
those
Yes.
guys maybe 5 past 4 or so.
Yes.
And yeah, this week for me, politically and otherwise, I'm really blank as far as that is concerned. But Spokie usamile
No, I
to fill
tried
me
because
in.
Nam was also like,
Mm,
as I was telling you, that there's a lot that happened this week,
yeah,
particularly, work-wise. So I was
but
kind of zoned out for a moment.
mm,
And
mm.
yeah, I only started catching up like basically
But
this
I
morning,
did hear
afternoon.
Umbalula lambasting the smaller organizations or political parties as
Because of the
Sandongena.
by-elections.
No,
What?
no, he's saying their main sort of deal is to actually cripple the ruling party and break down support sayo, these new parties. And then, I mean, of course, that for me sounds defeatist and maybe
Yes.
anticipating not a strong sort of election for them in 2024. And
Mm,
it's going to be quite tough for the ANC. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with us
yes. No, it has
that
been.
2024 is not going to be the same. It's not
Mm,
going to be a child's play. It's going to be
mm,
tough.
mm.
And I
In
think, I
terms
mean,
of
Mavusam
politics.
Simango's
Yes. Yeah,
resignation as well.
yes. And the comments that he
Yeah,
made.
he's really
Mm,
scathing against the ANC. And we all know, guys,
mm,
that the current sort of situation and the current posture of the organization in terms of what it is doing. And I also want to emphasize that the idea that the people can simply want to write off what the
mm.
ANC has done in the
Yes.
last 30 years is really for me
Mm,
not on. But at the
mm.
same time, more could have been done.
No, definitely.
So that's
Definitely.
how for me I
Mm,
would actually want to coin it, that
mm,
a lot could have been done, but
mm.
the corruption has actually seemed to have elevated itself
It's out of
much more.
control.
Yeah, it's out
Yeah,
of
it
control,
is out
really.
of control.
So yeah,
Mm,
that's our current affairs, guys, and the time
yes.
is 2:50, and we're gonna play you some music. What should we
Yes.
play Spokie?
Mm.
Do we
I think there is Atlantic Star Summer. I haven't heard Atlantic Star in a long time.
in a long time. There it is,
Uh,
masterpiece in you.
yes.
So, and then after that, I want to know what love is.
Yes.
That's what we're going to be playing
Yes.
now.